Hi, good evening. Very good evening to all of you. Welcome to day 16 of our SBI PO mains preparation. So, as you can see, this is about DI. This is about, in fact, tougher DI, tougher data interpretation. The way you call it, I don't call anything tougher, but I mean, if there is anything like a tough DI, this is what we are going to do today. Fine. So this probably would be a short session in the sense that it would be just two sets that I'll be doing today, but good chance that you not have seen anything similar earlier. So that's something that I wanted to. So that's the agenda. Before that, I'll just spend a couple of minutes on a few issues that you've been discussing on various platforms, the FB thread and stuff. One of them is of course about the general awareness section. I'll not say much on it. In fact, Samir would also not want to comment on that. The reason is very simple. It's very unpredictable. So I think there was this BOB exam the day before or yesterday, and it was like completely unexpected. I'll just have a very simple advice for you. Do not spend more than a couple of hours daily on it. It would be just 40 marks. If you're probably bad, you'll score 15 to 20. If you're good, around 30. Spend the time elsewhere. It's something that cannot be taught. Fine. So it's about your reading habits, your newspapers and everything. So don't just try to invest all your time there. It'll not do much for you. So spend time elsewhere. Probably practice some data interpretation. It's going to help you. It's a 60 mark section, so you can understand it's extremely important that way. Fine. So just do it here. Another thing that I wanted to discuss is data interpretation itself. I don't know what you guys are doing in it. Samir did one section, solved one section for you, I think a day before yesterday, of data interpretation. Was it not simple? I mean, I don't understand. Was it not simple? It is that same section that was there in your paper last year. I don't think the difficulty level is going to go up a lot. The reason why I'm doing this, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is, if it goes up, fine, so you should be prepared. So you should not be caught off guard. So you remember those two puzzle sessions that I did them because I do not want you to be surprised or shocked if something new comes up in the paper. So I don't think the questions that I'm doing today, I mean, they have a great chance to come. I seriously don't know, but they can come. Not very difficult, but different. Fine. So that's the agenda. Another thing is that whoever thinks that data interpretation is not scoring, please analyze your paper properly. I don't know what you guys are doing. I mean, I don't find it tough. Even in the test series that I keep seeing of all these organizations, I don't find it tough, seriously. So I'll discuss a lot going forward in this. This is just two sets today. Let me just start with this set that I'm going to show you now. Just one piece of advice for you. Don't be shocked the moment you see it. You get questions like this in aptitude tests. So just spend some time on it, read it first. We'll try and solve it together. I have lots of time. If it takes 20 minutes doing two sets, I'll be happy. If it takes 2 hours, I don't have a problem. Fine. So I'm just showing this set to you. Do not be worried if you do not get it. Fine. Let me just show it to you. We'll do it together. Fine. So this would look probably slightly different from what all you have done. So you'll not find it anywhere. I just created it today. Fine. So just look at it and tell me how you'll proceed in something like that. I do not want the answers straight away, just the methodology. Look at it. I'm giving you a couple of minutes to read it, all the questions, then I'll discuss it. Just give it a very patient reading first, and we'll discuss that. Okay, I think all of you would have at least read the question by now. I'm just spending a minute on explaining what the data is about. There's a class of 145 students which is divided into 5 sections. So it's a basic very simple statement. There are boys and girls in each section. So it says each of the 5 sections had at least one boy and at least one girl. Again, a simple statement. You know what it means. Fine. Move forward from here. The average weight of boys in the class is 60. So I mean, if you combine these 5 sections, there will be some boys, some girls, fine. So if you combine the boys, their average is 60 and the average of the girls is 55. So again, a simple statement, not much there. Important part is that it says that the average weight of all the students in the class, basically it means that the average weight of the class is an integer. So it's an integer, and all of you know that it will vary between 60 and 55 depending upon the actual ratio of boys and girls. So that's the data. It's a I mean, in terms of data, that there's absolutely nothing in this set. Fine. What is given to us further is this. It shows the average weight of boys and girls in each of the this is not 4 but it should be 5. So I made it for 4 first, then I changed it to 5. So for the 5 sections. So these are the 5 sections, A, B, C, D, E. What it means is that in A, the average weight of boys is 70, where the girls is 50. You should not be bothered about the units, pounds, weight, kilograms, whatever. It doesn't matter to us. Fine. So in A it's 70, 50. In B it's 40, 60, and likewise. So that's the data. This is, I mean, I think this is very, very basic. All of you understand what this means. Now, if you look at the questions, they look slightly different here. If you look at the questions, they look different. For example, if you look at question number 1, it says if the average weight of the class is maximum possible. So this is that type which comes very, very often in all the aptitude tests, the difficult aptitude tests. This is the maximum minimum type basically. So I just wanted to do one set with you which uses average, because if you look at this, this is not this is all the concepts of average and nothing else. So if you look at this, what if you look at the data here, if the average weight of a class is maximum possible. Now when you are given statements like this, you'll have to deal with the same numbers only. The difference here is that a condition is given. So if you look at this part, if the average weight of a class is maximum possible, I'm just telling you the way to proceed. You already know that the average weight of boys is 60 and girls is 55 here. So can I say that the average would vary between 55 and 60? Now if it's saying it's maximum possible and it's integer, can I say that the average weight as given in the condition would be 59? I'm just telling you a way to proceed. Now the question is, what is the minimum possible number of students in section B? Now just think about it. I mean, if you do not get the answer, I don't care, at least at this point. So you can just leave these 2, 3, 4 at the moment. Just concentrate on question 1. I'll just show you question 1 now. The way to proceed would be, this is the average for girls, this is the average for boys. So the total average would be between these two. If I'm saying in this condition, if it is maximum possible, an integer maximum possible. So it cannot be 60, because if it's 60, there are no girls at all. So the maximum possible number is 59. So this statement here, I'm just doing this for you partially. This statement basically means if the average weight of the class is 59. Now think about it. You have to minimize the number of students in section B. Which is section B? This is section B. Think about it. I'll explain this later. I mean, just think about it. Not difficult, just slightly different. It's believe me, it's not difficult, just different. So I'm just erasing this. Now think about this. I'm moving forward and just showing you this first question now. Forget the rest, just look at this question now. So this is the maximum minimum type. I will be doing just 4 questions in this, all of the same type, and at the end of this exercise you should be comfortable with these kind of questions. Nehal Bharadwaj, there is nothing like a CAT level or a ZAT level or a bank PO level. All these are aptitude based questions. So I mean, what do I tell you? Bank level in puzzles, it's higher than CAT level now. So there is nothing like a CAT level. It's not a benchmark that this is CAT level, this is ZAT level. No, nothing like that. Okay, since I have kind of decided today that I'll answer every single question. This is the average for girls, this is the average for boys. The total average has to be between these. So 56, 57, 58, 59, all this. If I'm saying it's the maximum possible, what is the maximum number out of these 4? Has to be 59. So I answered question number 1 now. So the maximum possible average weight for the class has to be 59. Now move forward and keep asking me questions. I want you to solve it on your own. Arpit, I did not say that it can be 60. I said it cannot be 60 because there have to be some girls. This, look at this condition here. Each of the 5 sections has at least one boy and at least one girl. Yes, so Abhishek Sahu says boys 116, girls 29. That's the first step. That's, you can use it. You can use allegation or weighted average or just your common sense by saying that if it has to be 59, it has to be tilted in this favor. Now, if you haven't done allegation, I mean, God bless you. Then I mean, what do I say? You should, the moment you look at this 59 clicks to you and you realize that it has to be in the ratio of 4:1. 4:1 here means that this has to be 29 into becomes 29. So that's basically, this is 116 boys and 29 girls. This is the first step they should get in 10 seconds. I mean, the whole question can be got very quickly, but this is the first step that at least should click to you. Now think about the question. Sanjay, don't get bogged down by the fact that we are doing something different. Just be with me, listen to me, you will get it very easily. Kuch naya nahi hai. The reason why I want to do this, if something like this comes in the exam, it should not be new to you. The familiarity helps in the exam. All others would not be able to do it, you will be able to crack it. That's the reason. Which part do I repeat? I did not do anything difficult till now. Which part do I repeat? पूछो क्या पूछना चाहते हो? Arun, ask me what is the question. I'll repeat. Okay, let me erase this again now. Acha, let me just tell you a very basic thing. If you do not know this, if you have not heard of this term, fine. If you do not know this, this is not the session for you. You may please leave. I mean, you will end up getting disappointed. If you do not understand allegation still, it's not for you. I kept telling you we'll use all this in DI. A few of you did not listen. If you do not get this, this is not for you. Don't do this. If you do not think you are comfortable with averages, not for you. If you are comfortable, you can do it very quickly. चलो मैं फिर से बताता हूँ. 55 is the average for girls. Fine. 60 is the average for boys. You mix the two. Fine. When you mix the two, how do you arrive at a number? It's weighted averages, no? So if it's maximum possible, basically it can be 59 only because it has to be an integer. It's given here. So if it's an integer, it's between 55 and 60. What do you do now? Use allegation. 60 minus 59, it's 1. So 1 comes here. 59 minus 50, this 55 is 4. So this 4 comes here. So basically what it tells me is that girls and boys have to be in the ratio of 1:4. So that's the first step. Now if you want me to do this for you, 1:4, how do we divide this 145 students? So it's done like this, 1 upon 5 into 145, which gives you 29. Okay? The second one we get like 4 upon 5 into 145, which gives you how much? Alright, 126. So these are the numbers. So what we can say after this is, let me just erase this. For this question, there are 29 girls and there are 16 होगा, कितना होगा? 26. Sorry, 16. So this is the number of boys, this is the number of girls. So this part is done now. So if the average weight of the class is maximum possible, this is done, you can forget it. Now I'm saying if there are 29 girls and 116 boys, which you should ideally get very quickly, what is the minimum possible number of students in section B? This is your section B. Just think about it, give me the answer now. Okay, let me just go through your comments very quickly. Guys, this is higher level DI. Seriously, if you are not comfortable with DI, the session is not for you. This is meant to take you a notch higher in data interpretation. So अगर आपको ये नहीं मिल रहा 55 कहाँ से आया, तो मैं कैसे करूँ बताइए आपके लिए. This is 55 यार. This is written here. Look at this. Okay, let me just read the comments now. 29 के लिए I showed you the calculation. It's 1 by 5 into 45, 145. Guys, if you don't understand basic alligation, this is not for you, seriously. चलो यहाँ तक तो आया ना समझ में. 5 क्या है? 5 है क्या? अच्छा, आंसर यू आर सेइंग नो, आंसर इज नॉट 5. आई विल नॉट टेल यू द आंसर. थिंक अबाउट इट, यू विल गेट इट ऑन योर ओन. Let me just check if I've got a correct answer as yet. Guys, you have to minimize. So answers as big as 116 and all cannot be the answer. Now you have to minimize. So start from 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, something like that. Govardhan, maximum 60 is not possible because maximum 60 would happen when there are only boys. Think about this. Rohit says 145 कैसे आया? रोहित 145 कहीं से नहीं आया. Just look at this यार, ये लिखा हुआ है 145 यहाँ पर. क्लास में there are 145 students. वर्तिका मैं बता रहा हूँ, बट कोशिश तो करो करने की. I will not be there on 4th of June. चलो मैं हिंट देता हूँ. Let me just give you a hint here. One is you make equations and then you work on it. What do I need to do? Just look at this. What do I need to do? मतलब इसमें करना क्या है मेरे को, ये देखते हैं पहले. I have to minimize the number of students in section B. Which is section B? This is section B. Fine. So 40, 60. If you look at this, what is the average for girls? I'm just looking at let's start with boys only. What is the average for boys here? Can I say this average is given here as 60? So basically, can I say that 70, 40, 55, 65 and 60, these 5 numbers when combined give you 60. यही हो रहा है ना? So there are 5 sections for boys. Leave girls for a moment. Just think about boys here. So boys average for section A is 70. Boys average for section B is 40. Average for section C is 55, 65, 60. When you mix these 5 sections, then you get the total for boys. So what we know is that the total for boys or the average for boys is 60. So now what it means is that you have to mix 70, 40, 55, 65 and 60 in a manner that it gives you 60. What is it? This is again weighted average only. Think about it. It's nothing new. It's again weighted average. For example, let's say there are just a hypothetical situation here. Let's say there are just 3 sections, 1, 2 and 3. Let's say there are just 3 sections, 1, 2 and 3. And I am telling you that the average weight is 60. So if this is 60, this is 55 and this is 65 and they are mixed equally. यही आपने weighted average में किया हुआ भी है ना. So if you mix them equally, 55, 60 and 65, what do you get? You get a 60. Now if I kind of tell you that this is not 65 but this is 70, what did you use to do? Again you will use alligation here. So this is all alligation and nothing else in this question. Now you know that since this is 60, this would not make a difference to your average. 60 is this section and 60 is the average that you need. What you need to work with now would be 55 and 70. Now 55, the difference between 55 and 60 is 5. The difference between 60 and 70 is 10. Now can you directly by your common sense or by allegation or by anything can say that since this difference is 10, this is 5 and this 10 is double of 5, this 55 and 70 have to be mixed in the ratio of 2:1. यही allegation का rule है ना. I mean you reverse it, so you just take this 10 here and take this 5 here, 10:5 becomes 2:1. So if you mix this 55 section with this 70 section in the ratio of 2:1, you get a 60. And 60 आप कितना भी ले सकते हो, you can take any number of 60s because 60 would not tamper with your average here. So if it's about 55, 60 and 70, 60 can be any number and 55, 70 in the mixed in the ratio of 2:1 will give you this number. Now in place of 3 here there are 5. That is the only difference. But another probably simpler way of looking at it would be you just calculate the differences here. For example, let's say I pick 170. So if I just pick 170 or one kid or one student from this section with 70 weight, fine. So you are going plus 10 above the average. What is it? 70 minus 60 is plus 10. So to compensate for this plus 10, how many people do you need from 55? Just think like that. So if I took 1 from this 70 group, it gives me a plus 10. Now I have to compensate for this plus 10. So how many do I need from this section 1? I will need 2. Why? Because this is a difference of minus 5. So 2 people with a difference of -5 will give me a -10. So it means that these 2 here would compensate for this 1 here. So if you want, you can think of it in terms of common sense, or if you want, you can think of it in terms of allegation, but forget allegation, this is common sense only, na? So I pick 1 from 70, I pick 2 from 55 to compensate for it. So likewise you do this same thing in this group. Now think about it. अजीत आंसर पे मत जाओ यार, मैं समझा रहा हूँ, इसको पहले समझ लो. अभी आंसर कितना बोला आपने? लेट मी जस्ट चेक. ओके, somebody has already answered it. Somebody has already given me the correct answer, and some are actually very close to it. No, Biswajit, it's not correct. Think a bit more. You messed up with the girl's number. Acha, what I'll do in a question like this is I'll write this boys in rows separately, just to make sure there is no confusion. So I already know how many boys are there now. So these are 116. So I'll do something like this. So this is 116 boys. I'll just write these 5 numbers there separately, horizontally, in the increasing order. So I know that the numbers are 40, 55, 60, 65 and 70. These are the numbers, and I know that I have to settle them at this number 60. Why? Because 60 is the average. Let's forget girls for the moment and concentrate only on boys now. These are 116. What I need to do is I need to minimize the number of students in section B. Which is section B? This is section B. Section B number of boys is 40. So basically I have to minimize this thing, this. Fine. So what is the minimum possible value? If you look at it, I mean, just use common sense and nothing else here. What is the minimum possible value that I can put here in this 40? देखो सब में एक एक तो डालना ही डालना है, because that's the condition here. It's given here that each of the 5 sections has at least one boy and at least one girl. So if I just put, let's say 1 here, if I put 1 here, this 116 here would be reduced to 115. Fine, it does not matter to me, just for your understanding. So if I just put 1 boy here, this is 1 boy in that 40 group. If I just put 1 here, what I need to check is, can I balance this 60 using the rest of the values? So 55, 65 and 70, can it be balanced at 60 if I just put one person in this 40 group? Yes, they can be. Think about this. कैसे करोगे? Let's say, I mean, देखो जितने भी आप 60 में डालते हो, whatever number you put in 60 would not make any difference to the average. So when you have put 1 in 40, 41, and it means 60 minus 40 is 20, so it basically gives you a minus 20 here when you put one person in this 40 group. So you need to compensate for this minus 20 here. How do you compensate for this minus 20 here? Pick any number. Let's say I pick this 70 here. So if I put 2 people in 70, can it compensate for a minus 20? Yes. Why? Because it gives me a plus 20. 70 minus 60 is 10. Fine. So this is plus 10. Plus 10 into 2 is plus 20. So if I put 2 people in the 70 group, they compensate for this 40. So can I say that I just put one person in this 40 group, 2 people in the 70 group, and my average is already balanced at 60? Yes, it is balanced. Now it's going, after this it's very simple. You have to put 1 in 55 and 1 in 65. 55, 65, so वैसे भी they cancel each other because the distance from 60 is equal. So I put 1 in 55, 1 in 65, 1 in 40 and just 2 in 70. Can I say it's all balanced now? जो भी बचेगा, the rest of it I can put in all 60. Do I need to even calculate it? No. So what I can see from here is that if I just put one person, one boy in this 40 group, I can balance it all at 60. Did you get it? So it means that I've got my partial answer. What is it? Minimum possible number of students तो मैंने नहीं निकाला है अभी, but what I have calculated is the minimum possible number of boys in section B. So I can say that the minimum possible number of boys in section B is 1. Can you do it similarly for girls now? It's exactly the same logic. Think about this. There is absolutely no difference. You do the same thing for girls now. Let's say I go to girls here. Girls, how many girls are there? We earlier calculated it to be 29. So if it's 29, what are the 5 numbers here when it comes to girls? The numbers are 40, 45, 50, 55 and 60. The reason I am writing it separately is there are two reasons basically. One, you will not get to work on the screen. Two, it's easier to balance them when written horizontally. And what is the average for girls? It's 55. So basically I need to balance girls at this number 55. Now what is my objective? Again, minimizing the number of students in section B. What is the average? What is the average for girls in section B? It's 60. So basically I need to minimize this number, this 60. So I need to kind of put as few people in this 60 group as possible. But now there is a problem here. What is the problem? I can put any number in 55, that will not make any change to my average. But whatever numbers I put in 40, 45 and 50 are less than 55. So what is the only number that can compensate for this deficit here? It's a deficit, na? Just think about this. Is just common sense logic and nothing else. So if I put a 50 here, 50 gives me a minus 5, 55 minus 50 minus 5. How do I compensate for it? By putting 1 in 60. So let's start putting it now. Let's say I put 1 in 50. If I put 1 in 50, fine. How many do I put in 60 to compensate for it, to balance it at 50? 1 again. So I put 1 in 60. Now let's put 1 in 45. If I put 1 in 45, what is the deficit here? 55 minus 45, which is minus 10. If it's a deficit of minus 10, how do I compensate by putting 60s here? I'll need to put 2 now. Why? 5 into 2, 10. Likewise, if I put 1 in 40 here, 55 minus 40 is 15. How do I compensate for 15? By putting 3 here. So what it means is that for this 41 I put 3, for this 45 I put 2. I'm just compensating. I'm just balancing them. And for this 51 I put 1. So this is the bare minimum number of people that you need in the 60 wala section. Why? Because you need to put at least 1 in 40, 1 in 50, 1 in 45 and 1 in 50. The rest all can be put in 55. There is no problem with that. So what I do is I put 1 each in 40, 45 and 50 sections, and 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6 in 60. Now they are all balanced. So the rest of it, which would be 6 plus 3, 9, 20 students can go into this 55 section, which I am not bothered about. So what I know is that the minimum possible number of girls here that need to be there in the 60 section for this to be balanced at 55 have to be 6. So boys we already calculated is 1, girls would be 6, 6 plus 1, 7 becomes your answer in this case. This is 1 boy and 6 girls. Now just think about this. Just think about this. I am telling you, this is not difficult. This is not difficult. This is just slightly different from what you have been doing. But the kind of work that we have done in ratios and allegations, you should be able to do it almost mentally. Just one advice for you here, don't work with numbers like this when they are not in order. 50, 60, 45, put them in an order like this, 45, 40, 45, 50, because it's easier to balance. You know where to balance it. You need to balance it 50. You just do plus and minus and you can do it straight away. Now did you get this question? Please type a yes. I'll give you a second one. Otherwise if you did not get this, you will not get the second one. This is not difficult. The only thing is you make it separately for boys and girls and then do it. If you got this, it's a set. If it comes, it will give you probably 10 marks and you will be able to do it quickly. Tell me if you got this. Do I explain again? Do I do something else? How do I move forward? I told you I have a lot of time on my hand today. Shivam, it's a challenging question, but it's not challenging if you know how to do this. Think about this. It's all about balancing, believe me. We are not using any fancy technique. This is all about balancing. Let me just read your comments also very quickly. Okay. Second one is very similar. Again, don't get bogged down, read it properly and then we'll do it together again. This is your second question. Now work on this. Jahan bhi problem hota hai, just ask me. I'll give you clues to work on this. This is the second one. Just think about this now. This is not an amazing approach. This is the only approach with which you can do this. Otherwise, it will be not humanly possible to do it in an exam. If you do not do it by balancing and make equations, it cannot be done in an exam. This is the only way that you can do it. Think about this. Now this is the second one. Nirmal, don't worry, I'll explain the second one. It's very similar. If you want, you can rewind the video or stay with me for the second question. I'll explain everything again for this one. चलो एक बार मैं फिर से let me just excuse me, I'll just explain this very quickly once again. देखो हमने क्या किया है यहाँ पर. The numbers are this. Let me explain it only for girls, not for boys this time. This is 29, the total number of girls, fine. So you know this. The numbers, the averages for girls are 5 numbers, so I just put them like this: 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. You know that the average for girls is 55, so it needs to be balanced here. What my objective is very clear. I need to minimize the number of students that I put in the 60 group. I hope the objective is clear. Why? Because I have to minimize the total number of students in section B. This is section B and this is the 60 group of, fine. So I have to minimize the number of students who go in the 60 group. But my limitation is I could have put everything in this 55 group, but my condition, restriction, constraint is that I have to put something in each one of these 5 of them, fine. So if I have to put something there, let's just start with 50. If I, let's say, just put one student here, one student, who can compensate for this deficit for 5? This is a deficit, this is a minus 5 here, 55 minus 50 minus 5. Who can compensate for it? There is just one number which is bigger than this, and it's this number. So if you take a plus 5 from here, minus 5 plus 5 is 0. They get balanced at 55. So when I put 1 in 50, I put 1 in 60 simultaneously to balance them at 55. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. You put 1 in 45 now. You are putting just 1 because you need to minimize, fine. You need to minimize the number, so you just putting 1 in the, if you let's say put a bigger number in 45, you'll need to put a bigger number in 60 as well. So don't do that. Put just 1 here. If you pick this 1 here, 55 minus 45 is minus 10. Now how do you compensate for this minus 10? By a plus 10. From where can you get a plus 10? There is just one number which is bigger than the average, which is 60 here. 60 minus 55 is 5. So you'll now need 2 people in the 60 group. These 2 people, 2 into plus 5 is plus 10, so they compensate for this minus 10. So you put 2 here, this is taken care of, it's again balanced at 55. To take this one now, you put 1 here, this gives you a deficit of 55 minus 40, which is minus 15. How do you get a plus 15 here? You get a plus 15 if you put 3 people here. Now how does it happen? 60 minus 55 is plus 5 into 3 people gives you plus 15. So what I did was that for this one, I put this 1 here. For this one, I put this 2 here, and for this one, I put this 3 here. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. So this 6 is the minimum. इससे नीचे तो लगेगा ही नहीं. You take this 6 here. So if you put this 6 here and 1, 1, 1, this is 6 plus 3, 9 gone. So I can subtract this 9, and the rest 20, which I am actually not required to do, can be put in all of them in 55. And you can do it almost mentally. I mean, there is no calculation in this. If you get this, you can do it very quickly. Just that balancing act. I hope I explained this 2-3 times now. You got it. Give me the answer for the second one now. Kriti, yes, we calculate the ratio, but we are working on the actual numbers here, na? Think about this. I can put any number of students in that 55 group. They'll not make a difference. Ranu says, what was the use of calculating 160 boys and 29 girls? Not in this question, absolutely no use, because we minimized it. Had it been maximizing, but Ranu, this is something I need to take care of. In this question, it made no difference. It can somewhere else, and this is one step that actually does not take any time. अब इसका ठीक आंसर दीजिए मेरे को. Question, you can skip this. You wanted me to do difficult DI, different DI, that's why I'm doing this. Whatever is required to crack SBI PO, we have already done. यार उतना लेवल तो हम लोगों ने कर लिया है, उसके ऊपर कर चुके हैं. We have done this. You want to do something different just to be sure that if something different comes, you are up to it. So this is the reason why I'm doing this. Okay, I'm getting all sorts of answers. At least you got the approach now. Now think about this and give me the correct answer. Okay, I have got a correct one as well. Krati, if you are not satisfied, what do I do? I mean, I explained it in half an hour, yaar. Come on. Think about it again. It's something new for you. What I did is fine. That's the only thing that I know. There is nothing incorrect in there. That I can assure you. Okay, you're saying 12 सिद्धार्थ, डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब द सेशन, अप्रोच DI यार, यही पहले मुझे ये करने दो, उसके बाद मैं आई टॉक अबाउट अप्रोच टू DI इन दिस एट द एंड ऑफ द सेशन. लेट मी डू दिस फर्स्ट. 12, 13, 12 boys, 12 girls. देखो इसमें the differences, the first step should be I think very very clear to all. The average weight of the class is minimum possible. You know, if I'm talking about the average weight being minimum possible, so if it's 55 for girls here and 60 here, can I say that the average weight that I'm talking about now would be 56? If it's 56, the ratio of boys and girls would now be the reverse ratio, 4:1. So earlier it was 1:4, now it's 4:1 in the sense that it's biased towards girls. Why biased towards girls? Again, 60 minus 56 is 4, 60 minus 56 is 1, 60 minus 56 is 4, 56 minus 55 is 1. So it has to be 4:1, and since it's biased towards girls, so it becomes 4:1 in the favor of girls. But the question asked is only in terms of boys, so the only thing that I am concerned with now is boys. So if it's 4:1, the boys would be 1/5 into 145, which gives you 29. So what I know now is, I mean, just in 5 seconds, that 29 is the number of boys. Up, the question remains the same. I'll make another table like that only. So this is boys and the number is 29. Fine. So these are the numbers: 40, 55, 60, 65 and 70. And you know that the average is 60. So that's the average. They have to balance here, all of them. And my task is to maximize the number of boys in section C. Where is section C here? This section C is this 55 group. So I have to basically maximize this number. Fine. Now just think about how you can maximize this number. I mean, some of you are giving the answers, some incorrect, some I don't think if I got the correct answer. Yes, I have got the correct answer as well. Fine. So some of you right, some of you not right. Just think about this. You'll not get it wrong. I have to try and maximize this group. Let's say this number is X. If this number is X, what deficit does this number give us or give me from 60? Can I say it gives me a -5? If it gives me a -5, what are the ways in which I can, I'm not talking about the other groups now, just concentrating on 55 because I want to put maximum out of this 29 into this X. So this X is just hypothetical, nothing here. So 1 in this gives me a -5. How do I compensate for this -5? One way is that I put 1 in 65. So if I put 1 in 55, I put 1 in 65, it compensates. But what it tells me is that if I just keep increasing this 1 to 2 to 3, I'll just need to keep increasing here as well in 65 as well. So this can be yes one way, but don't you think a better way would be that I compensate by putting something in 70 here? This is common sense again. What is the reason why I'll put in 70 and not prefer 65? The reason is simple. This gives me a deficit of -5. So let's say I put 2 in this group. If I put 2 in this group, that will be -5 into 2, which gives me -10. Now for compensating for this -10 is easier using this 70 because it gives me an addition of 10 over 60. So 70 minus 60 is plus 10. So basically what it does is that if I put 2 persons in this 55 group, I just need to put 1 person in this 70 group to compensate for it. So isn't it common sense now? Just think about this. If I put 1 person here, fine. If I put 2 people here and just 1 person here, I just can keep increasing it. So 2:1 is the ratio between 55 and 70. I'm not talking about 65, 60 and 40 here. So 2:1. So let's say I put 10 here. So these 10 can be compensated by putting just 5 here. So it's better than putting an equal number in the 65 group. So this is again logic and nothing else. Had I put a number in 65 to compensate for this 55, my numbers are exhausted quickly or at a more rapid pace. But I do not want to do that. I want to preserve them to put the maximum possible number in this 55 group. For that, I compensate by putting in 70. So I hope you got this part. So if I put 2 here, I'll put 1 here. But how long can this continue? Because I cannot just distribute everything like that. For example, let's say out of this 29, I put 27 like this. So if I put 27 like this, I can say I put 18 here and 9 here. 18 plus 9 is 27. But then I'm not left with enough numbers to put something in these 3 groups as well, because 27 means just 2 are left and I need to put at least one each in 40, 60, 40, 60 and 65 group. So it means that if you have to maximize this, you will have to stop here. I'll just tell you कहाँ पर आपको रुकना होगा. We'll use the same logic but we'll stop somewhere. So 27 you know is not possible. What is the nearest multiple of 3 to 27? It's 24. So if I let's say distribute 25 here, so in this 55 group, out of 24 I will put 16. So I put 16 here, I put 8 here. So I put 16 in this 55 group, I put 8 in the 70 group. Can I say they would balance each other? Now how many are gone? Yes, they would balance each other. 16 and 18 are balanced and we are settled at this average of 60. Now how many are gone? We are just left with this 27 is not correct, this is 24 now. So these are gone. So what is left now is 5. Can I balance these 5 numbers in a way that they adjust themselves in these 3, 40, 60 and 65? Can it be balanced? I mean, since I have to put something here in all of them, yes, they can be balanced. Think about it. देखो एक तो 60 में मेरे को डालना ही पड़ेगा. So let me just put 1 in 60. Fine. So if I put 1 in 60, what is left now? I'm just explaining every step here. 5 minus 1 would be 4. Now just 4 are left, which can be a problematic number. A problematic number can be 40. The reason is that it has got a fair enough distance from 60. So 60 minus 40 is 20. So this gives me a minus deficit of minus 20. So let me just quickly put 1 in 40 as well. So I put 1 in 40 as well. Now what is my deficit at exactly this stage? My deficit is minus 20 because 60 ने तो कोई deficit दिया नहीं, this is okay, but this gave me a deficit of minus 20. Now this minus 20 has to be compensated or has to be compensated using just 3 more students now. Why? Because I put 1 in this one and 1 in this one. So this is now just 3 left. How do I compensate for minus 20? Again, this is common sense. If this is minus 20, to compensate I have got just 2 numbers. This is the plus 10 number 70 and this is the plus 5 number. So I put 2 here, fine, I put 2 here and 1 more here and it compensates. How? This is plus 10 and this is 2 into plus 5. So this is plus 20 and this minus 20 is compensated. So the exact distribution goes like this. 1 goes in this, 16 in this, 1 in this, 2 in this and 1 plus 8, 9 in this. So if you can see this, I mean this is like slightly hodgepodge because I've written a lot of things here, but the distribution would be like this. 1 in 40, if I can just recite it again orally. 1 in 40, 16 students in 55, which is the number that we wanted to maximize, 1 student in 60, 2 in 65 and 8 plus 1, 9 students in the 70 group, and they all balance to 60. So that's the answer. Your answer would be 16 in this. This is not difficult, believe me, this is not difficult, but you need to learn this. This is that balancing act. I mean ये plus minus है जो आप बचपन से करते आ रहे हो, उसके ज़्यादा कुछ भी नहीं है. You just need to balance this. 16 कितने लोग ने आंसर दिया था? लेट मी जस्ट चेक. देखो ये नहीं हो रहा है अभी जल्दी, तो इसमें टेंशन मत लो. वी आर जस्ट ट्रेनिंग, सो आई जस्ट वांटेड टू एक्सप्लेन दिस टू यू. So don't worry, if it comes in the exam, it will be easier than this and you'll be able to do it quickly. Okay, let me just read the comment. Next wala dun, should I give you the next one? You can think of it as all separate questions, but it will be all based on the same fundamental. चलो नेक्स्ट वाला देखते हैं. यार आप लोगों ने वीडियो डिसलाइक करना शुरू कर दिया. देखो ये कितनी मुश्किल बात है. खुद से पढ़ते नहीं हो यार, मेरी क्या गलती है इसके अंदर. चलो नेक्स्ट वाला देखो, कर दो. अरे यार ये नहीं है आपके लिए. अगर आपको नहीं करना है ना, अगर आप 50 नंबर नहीं लाना चाहते ना डीआई में, मत करो यार, जस्ट गो अवे. कितनी बार समझाऊं. चलो ये करो, देखो इसे. यस उदय, दैट्स द स्पिरिट. 60 लाने यार, कम से कम कोशिश तो करनी है ना. मैंने तो आपको बोला ही नहीं कि आज जो मैं कराऊंगा आसान होगा, बताओ कभी बोला मैंने दैट आई गिव यू इजी थिंग्स, जस्ट 2 सेट्स है यार, अलग करना था यार। एंड आप लोग मेरे पीछे पड़े हो, मुश्किल कराओ मुश्किल कराओ, मुश्किल करा रहा हूँ तो आप नाराज़ हो रहे हो। चलो अभिलाष, लाइक करना ज़्यादा जरूरी नहीं है, ज़्यादा जरूरी है ये वाला क्वेश्चन करना। गिव मी द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर 3 एंड फॉर 4। लेट्स डू 3 फर्स्ट एंड देन 4। Once you are done with these 4 questions, you will feel very confident about this. And believe me, this can come as a quant set, this can come as a DI set. This concept should be clear to you. Jagdish, don't skip DI here, because the thing is that you will get 45, how much? 45 minutes for 35 questions. If all is like this, you will have to do something, no? देख लो यार, नहीं अच्छा लगेगा छोड़ देना, सुन तो लो। अभी नाराज क्यों हो रहे हो? कोई बाहुबली 2 थोड़ा ना है कि आपको पसंद नहीं आई, बाहुबली 1 जितनी अच्छी नहीं थी, नाराज होने लग गए आप लोग। रानू फिर से देखो, गलत हो गया आंसर। इनफैक्ट दिस इज इजियर, बिलीव मी, क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 इज इजियर, थिंक अबाउट दिस। रवि पटेल, नहीं अच्छा लग रहा तो जाओ यार, किसने बोला है टफ के नाम पे कुछ भी यार इग्नोरेंस ऑल अराउंड यार, मैं क्या बोलूँ, मैं क्या बोलूँ आप लोग को। अब मैं गुस्सा भी नहीं करता देखो आप पे, अब दिस इज जस्ट कॉन्स्टर्नेशन। Question, I have given you many essay topics on the FB group. Please look at that. Abhishek Sahu, your answer is partially correct. Give me the correct answer. छोड़ दो यार रवि, सेशन भी छोड़ दो ना। I'm telling you, just leave यार. I mean, you do not like it, just leave. I've got the correct answer as well यार, and I've got the correct answer as well from a few of you. Very good, very good, very good, wonderful. Yes, boys and girls in this case would be 116 and 29, absolutely. Let me just kind of draw the partial diagram as well. So that's your average. This is 65 and this is 70. And if we talk about girls, it is like this. This is 29. I will not explain this 116 and 29 now. So this is 40, this is 45, this is 50, this is 55, and this is 60. So these are the numbers. Okay, what do I need to do? What is the maximum possible value by which the number of boys can exceed the number of girls in section E? So this is the section that we are talking about, this 60 here. Talking about this, we need to maximize this, and this 45 here, we need to minimize this. देखो मैं इसमें एक बेसिक चीज बता रहा हूँ, so that you can, all of you can get the answer. What is the maximum possible value by which the number of boys can exceed the number of girls in section E? So section E is this 60 here and this 45 here. So again I have written it like this, boys and girls like this. So this is the number, so you have to basically maximize the number of people who go in this 60 group and minimize the number of people who go in this 45 group. तभी होगा ना ये. What do I need to do? What is the maximum possible value by which this can exceed? So basically the number of people in this group has to exceed the number of people in this 45 group in girls by a number as large as possible. So it means that this needs to be maximized and this needs to be minimized. Now is it difficult? Is it different? क्या different है इसमें? जो हमने last time किया था बस वही करना है. देखो maximize करना तो it's very very easy. If you look at this, maximize this 60 is very easy. What you need to do is put at least one each in all four. So 1 1 1 1. If you put one each, you can put all the rest of them in 60. But I need to check if they are balancing. देखो 55 65 तो आपस में balance हो जाएगा. So if you put 1 in 55, you put 1 in 65, they are balanced. So we don't need to touch them. The problem would be this number 40. Why 40? Because 40 is smaller. Since 40 is smaller, it will create some problems. So if I put 1 in 40 here, this is a deficit of 60 minus 40 minus 20. I can do it mentally. So this minus 20 can be compensated very very quickly if I, or as quickly as possible if I take the bigger number of the two, 65 and 70. So I pick 70 here. So this minus 20 can be compensated by picking two 70s here. So you know, to compensate for this, I'll not need this as 1, but I'll need this as 2. So these two compensate for this one compensate for this one. I hope you got this. This 2 compensate for this one, and this one compensates for this one. So this is 2 plus 1 3 plus 4 5, 4 plus 1 5. So this is 5 gone now. If 5 are gone, what is the number that's left with me to put in this 60? 111. ये मुश्किल था क्या? लास्ट टाइम से आसान था. सो दिस इज मैक्सिमाइज्ड एंड द मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल नंबर इज 111 नाउ. दूसरा भी देख लेते हैं. चलो, इफ यू गॉट दिस, आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ यू हैव ऑलरेडी गिवन मी द करेक्ट आंसर नाउ. Now this 45 here needs to be minimized. Fine, this number here, just clean it up a bit. So this number needs to be minimized here. If this is to be minimized, how do I proceed again? Can I say this is extremely simple in the sense that if I look at this 60, since there is no restriction on 60, can balance any number here in 50, in 45, in 40. So I mean there is no constraint on this 45 as such. So if I just put, I mean without doing anything, if I just say that I put 1 here, if I put 1 here, this 1 can be easily compensated through 60. I don't even need to know how many 60s. So okay, for the sake of understanding, I'll say 2. So if I put 1 in 45, it can be compensated by putting 2% in the 60 group. And this 45 and 40 I have already seen in the previous question can obviously be compensated by 60. So do I need to bother how many go in 60 and 45 and all these? No. What I know is that if I put just 1 in this 45, it can be compensated and the rest all can balance each other. कुछ भी नहीं करना है इसमें, तो फिर ये तो बहुत ही सिंपल है. So it means that the minimum possible here has to be 1. So minimum possible here or maximum possible here was the tougher part, if you can call it tough, and that was 1 1 1. The minimum possible here is very very simple and it's 1. 1 तो होना ही होना था. Fine. So answer would be 1 1 1 minus 1, which is 110. I hope you got this. This was easier than the last one. If you got the last one, I am just giving you the last one now. ये अच्छा नहीं था ये. I mean, yeah, you get better with the familiarity ना. Now look at the fourth one. Do it carefully. I have picked up data which makes it slightly prone to error. So don't make any stupid mistake here. Now you've got the concept. I don't mind if you give it another 2 minutes, but get this right. शिवम, दिस इज द शॉर्ट ट्रिक यार. इससे शॉर्ट कैसे करूं मैं, इसको बताओ. जादू नहीं आता मेरे को. Guys, I'm telling you, you get these questions, then you get an awesome feeling. And don't just give up on them. Try and understand that. Harish, please watch it as many times as you want. It's available as a, would be available as a session in your YouTube. अबे कोई बात नहीं. If there is a confusion, you can watch it again later. You will realize that this is the only possible configuration that gives us the optimal result. It's there. I mean, it's food for thought. Don't look at it as one set. Look at it as a methodology. So anything similar comes, now you know how to crack them using balancing. So I wanted to teach it as a concept using this example. Just think like that. पहले इसका सही आंसर दो, तब मैं मानूंगा आप लोग खुश हो. Just give me the correct answer for this one. This is prone to errors. I'm telling you. मैंने डेलिबरेटली इसमें नंबर्स इस तरीके से उठाए हैं दैट आप इसको गलत करोगे. सो डोंट डू दैट. यू नो, गेट दिस राइट. ट्राई टू गेट दिस राइट इन द फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट. डू इट स्लोली नाउ. Rajarshi, 52 is not the answer. 52 is not the answer. Boys and girls का number Supriya has calculated. Wonderful. Now move forward. Yes, Sanjay. Boys 87, girls 58 is fine. Yes. Move forward. So let me just write this part as well. All of you know this, and this 87 and 58 should get very very quickly. I mean, if you understand allocation, it takes no time. Absolutely no time. Okay, most of you have given me the correct number for boys. Boys is easier to do in this. Girls is slightly prone to errors. चलो boys करके मैं छोड़ देता हूँ अभी इसमें. Now you know what the numbers are. Boys 87, you can do this because 58 पे allegation से you can do it mentally. 29 into 3, 87, 29 to 58. So all of you know it. Get this very quickly. What is the maximum possible number of students whose weight is 40? So we have to maximize this 40 thing here in both the cases. Let's start with boys. We have to maximize this number 40 for boys here. How do you proceed in this? If you have to look at this, if I put 1 in 40, just think like this. 40 and 60, what is the difference here? That is difference is minus 20. Fine. Since this difference is minus 20 here, you pick the higher number from this side. Why? To compensate with the minimum possible effort. ऐसा ही है ना? So this number is plus 10 between 70 and 60. So what it means is that to compensate for 240s you need the other way around, to compensate for 140 here, if I put 1 in 40 which gives me a deficit of minus 20, I will need 2 from this side of 70. I will not use 65 because I will then need 4. This is again that same logic that we used earlier. So to compensate for 1 you need 2 from this side. Now how far can I go? Because I need to put something in 55, 60 and 65 as well. But the good thing here is that 55, 60 and 65 are so beautifully placed that if I put 1 each in all of them, 1, 1, 1, they will balance each other. So 55, 60, 65 balance each other at this number 60. So it means that the rest of them can be all adjusted between 40 and 70. बहुत बिल्कुल ही सिंपल है, अब इसमें कुछ नहीं है. 40, 70, this is the ratio 1:2. 1:2 means you divide 87 minus 3, 84 by 3, which gives you 28 and 56. So this thing becomes 28 if you look at this, and this becomes 56. So 56 in the 70 group, 28 in this 40 group. So the ratio is 1:2. They balance each other, and 28 plus 56 is 84. So 84 consumed like this in this ratio 1:2 between 40 and 70 using that earlier logic, and 1 each in 55, 60 and 65, and it's all balanced. So we consumed all 87 here, and the number of boys that we get for this, the maximum possible number of boys that we got here is 28. So boys ka number is 28 is final. So this is final. Boys is 28. Now can you tell me the correct number for girls? It's not as easy. There is I mean balancing would be a slight challenge in this. So do it for girls in a similar manner. You have to try and maximize the number of girls in this 40 bracket here. Do it. Arshdeep, I already answered for boys. Boys is 28. I already got the correct answer. Rohit, think about it. I told you it's prone to errors. I mean, just think about it. You made a slight mistake here. But I got a correct answer. I'm really happy about this. Rohit, Sovik, Sayan, just think about this. I told you, I mean, somebody who's saying 13 is fine. I mean, the line of reasoning is correct, but the answer is not. Think about it. Think about what went wrong. Yes, Ranu, it's the same logic. You can work out in any way. So you can just think about 84 by 3, 27, and then just the distribution of that thing. You have to reach near to 87 and leave some margin for balancing the rest. Biswajit, 28, not 29. 29 you will not be able to balance. Think about it. '29 के केस में you'll need 58 from there, na, from 70 side. So it's all consumed. So you're not left with anything to put in 55, 60 and 65. That's the reason. Yes, Arshdeep. Okay, I'll explain this as well. A lot of you said 13. 13 is not correct. The answer is 12. I'll tell you why. Just think about this. What is happening here? If you look at this case here, you can again, you need to maximize this number of girls with 40. What is the deficit here? If you look at this, it is 55 minus 40. This is minus 15. This is huge. And how do you compensate for it? Just through this thing. 60 and 55. This is plus 5. So basically, I know the ratio straight away. I can say that for every one girl put in this 40 bracket, this one girl here, I'll need to put 3 girls in the 60 bracket. So 3 girls in the 60 bracket would balance 1 girl in the 41. So 1 plus 3 is 4. I straight away try and go near to this 58. How do I do it? Let's leave some margin here. I cannot do it 4 into, I cannot take, what is the multiple of 4 that I take? I cannot take 56 because 58 minus 56 would be 2. Not enough would be left to put in 45, 50 and 55. So what I do is, I'm just telling you how to think about this. So the nearest then would be 52. If you talk about 52, what you put here is that you divide 52 between 40 group and the 60 group. So what are the numbers that you put here? You put 13 here and you put 39 here. So that they are in the ratio of 1:3, this 3 and this 1. So if you put 13 here and 39 here, they are 52 and you are left with 6. So the general feeling when you know that you are still left with 6, which 6? This 58 minus this 52, that you are still left with 6 people. The general feeling is that you will be able to balance them between the rest. But it cannot be balanced. If you look at it, it cannot be balanced. The reason is that if you look at this 45 gives you a deficit of minus 10. This gives you 50 gives you a deficit of minus 5. Minus 10 minus 5, it's already a deficit of minus 15. So to compensate for a minus 15, you will need 3 here from 60 side. But if you take this 3 here, all 6 are consumed. So this 6 is all consumed in that sense. Think about it. We are not doing any hit and trial, just common sense. This is minus 10. If you put 1 here, if you put 1 here, minus 5. Minus 10 minus 5 is minus 15. To compensate for a minus 15, 55 cannot compensate for a minus 15. You need 3 here. 5 into 3, 60. But then you have put nothing in this 55 group. It means that this 6 would not do. You will need 9. And to take 9, I will not do the numbers now. You will need to go at a lower multiple. So this 13 would not suffice. You will need 12 here. And you don't go further than that. Did you get this? So I started with the 13. That's why I gave you a warning in the beginning that it's prone to error. So whoever said 13, I am actually happy. You got the logic now. But what you did not realize is that the remaining 6 persons would not be able to balance this. So this is the kind of mistake that do in these questions, and believe me, 41 would be there as one of the answer options. It would be there. Once you know that 13 would not do, 12 ke liye you don't need to check because you've got many extra people now. From 6 to, it will not be 9, in fact it will be 10. Fine, because usi ratio mein बढ़ रहा है ना. So from 6 to 10 is a jump of 4 people. These 4 people can definitely compensate for this and can balance this average. I hope you got this now. This is, once you get this, you can do it quickly. So the answer would be 28 this from this thing and 12 from this thing. So the answer becomes 28 plus 12, which is 40. Now my advice here for you would be to revise all these 4 questions. This is extremely important. If you, let me just kind of come back on screen for a moment. Okay. Simple advice. This is not a question. This is a methodology. Just try and understand it. To not get it, don't worry. If you think you can get this, just think about it. If you have given it so much time, another 2-3 minutes, or not 2-3 minutes, another 15-20 minutes, you will get it. Revise all 4. It'll not get more tougher than this. उससे ज़्यादा मुश्किल नहीं आएगा, काम हो जाएगा. अच्छा, the reason why I appeared on the screen is, again I'm giving you a second question of a different type. That would be it for today. Again, do not say बहुत मुश्किल है, ये है वो है. It's a caselet type of a question which will need a Venn diagram, a very simple Venn diagram, but try doing it. So do not say नहीं हो रहा है. It'll be easier than this one, but you'll need to draw something. Fine. So just look at it very, very patiently. Don't give up on it. And this is the question for you. So that's the question on your screen now. Fine. If you want, you can just kind of skip these questions for now. I just gave you the questions to tell you what are the kind of questions that can be asked in this. This is your data. Just go through it once. Give it 2 minutes. I'll explain everything in detail. Don't worry. Udit says, please increase the difficulty level. अरे उदित क्या कर रहे हो यार, मरवाओगे आप हमें. अभी इतनी प्रॉब्लम हो गई है डिफिकल्टी लेवल से, इसको बढ़ाएंगे आगे कैसे चलेगा. चलो निशा, वंडरफुल. I gave it this 1 hour because I wanted to clear this concept for you. तरन्नुम, क्या डाउट है आपका? मैंने स्किप कर दिया. लेट मी जस्ट गो थ्रू इट इन द टाइम पीपल आर रीडिंग द क्वेश्चंस. Taranum says 28 plus 1 होना चाहिए because in A70 is average. Taranum, look at it again यार. नहीं. आपने कहीं कुछ मिस किया है इसमें. Look at it again. Believe me, I gave it a lot of time, so I'll not make a error as stupid as that. Just look at it again. Concentrate on this one now. This is another type that I want you to understand. This can be done very quickly, more quickly than the than the one that we did earlier. But again, a type that you should know. So my agenda in the next 3-4 days is to expose you to 3-4 question types for which there is a chance of appearing. Firdaus, what is your doubt? Guys, just a minute. I think I made a calculation mistake in the last one. Just give me a moment. Let me just check it again. Just give me a moment. Just a minute. Rohit, you pointed out. Firdaus, you said the same thing. Just give me a moment. Yes, I think the answer would be 13 only. I just checked. I think I made some calculation mistake. Yes. I don't know how to fix that now. We can leave it like that. But the answer for the previous one would be 13 only. It can be balanced. Yes. Let me just kind of. Yes, it can be balanced. Yes. Let me just erase it and just show it to you. These are the numbers: 40, 45, 50, 55 and 60. These are the numbers na. So I had put, this is the average, so I had put 13 here and 39 here, so that gives me 52 and 6 were left. So if I put those 6 like this, one here and one here, so that gives you one. This is minus 10, yes, this is minus 5, this gives you 3 here and 1 here, yes. So this is 0 and this thing gives you this is how much, plus 15. Yes, this is balancing. Yes. So the answer would be 45 to 41 to that one. So it becomes 28 plus 13. You are right. Yes. My mistake, my bad. So it was 28 plus 13, 41. Yes. 41 would be the answer to the next one. Do it. I mean, the methodology remains the same. Just a calculation mistake in that. It would be 13 for 28 for boys and 13 for girls in that one. The answer would be 41. My mistake corrected now. Okay, do this one. Supriya, you should have pointed it out. So the person who points it out gets the marks for this. So Rohit and Firdaus, I think, pointed it out. Did anybody else do that? Let me just check. Okay. I think just 2 people pointed out. Do this now. No, Firdaus, I do not want to waste your night on this. I mean, यार human error है. मैंने कब बोला है कि मेरे से गलती नहीं होती, कितनी सारी होती हैं. देखो, the concept should be clear, otherwise there is nothing else in it. I mean, answer इधर उधर हो जाता है, कुछ नहीं है. But you should know how to do it. This is the important part. Now I think you know how to do it. सुप्रिया बी कॉन्फिडेंट यार. आई मीन यू शुड हैव पॉइंटेड इट आउट. मेरे को वहाँ से बढ़ने नहीं देना था आपने अगर प्रॉब्लम थी. द प्रॉब्लम इज द स्लाइट लैग इन यूट्यूब एज वेल. इट्स लाइक हाफ अ मिनट behind. So anyway, let me just erase this and come to this question. Now you have read this data, fine. What is this like? I mean, which form of data representation would do here? If you look at this, this has to be in the form of a Venn diagram. If you look at, I'm just reading this question for you now. Simple data. There are 68 students in a science class, each of whom buys a book of at least one of the 3 science subjects. So there are 68 students. सब ने कम से कम एक book science का खरीदा. Fine. So all 68 buy at least one book, which is of one of these 3 subjects. No student of this class buys a book of any subject other than these 3. Okay. So they don't buy an English or a maths or some other book. They only buy, for the sake of this question at least, सिर्फ physics, chemistry and biology books. Fine. Moreover, a student does not buy more than one book of any subject. What it means is that let's say there is a student A, so he cannot buy 2 biology books. Fine. So it's not like 2 in biology and 1 in physics and 2 in chemistry. No. So there are just 3 options for the student. Fine. It's 1 book, 2 book or all 3 books. So if the student goes for 1 book, it can be physics, chemistry, biology, anything. If it's 2 books, so he can pick any pair of the 3 possible pairs. And if he wants, the student can go for all 3 books. So these are the 3 options with the student: 1 book, 2 book, 3 books. No multiple books of the subject allowed. So I hope this condition here is clear. Now let's look at what is written here. This is data through which you have to fill it. The total number of books bought by the students who bought books of both biology and chemistry is 45. Now the moment you look at statements like this, you know straight away that it's not going to be a table and it's just going to be a Venn diagram. So I'm showing you a basic Venn diagram, how it's going to look like, and then just fill it up and you can do it in no time. I'm just showing it to you how it looks like. Let's say this is the Venn diagram. So this is, let's say, physics. So I'll denote it by P. This is chemistry and this is biology. Let's say we do something like that. Now what it means is that if you look at this region, let's say let me call this X. y, z. Fine. I'm just saying what it means, since we have not studied set theory in detail, but this is not set theory, this is again common sense. What does this region X denote? So it is this region. So what it denotes is those students or number of those students who have read or who have bought only physics book. Fine. So this X is the region that shows those students who have just bought a physics book. If you talk about, let's say, this Y here, fine, let me just put anything here as well, W, P, Q, R. Let's say we talk about this W. So this W denotes this region, it is this region. Can you say it's the intersection of all three, P, C, B? So it is those students or number of those students who have bought all three books. Physics, chemistry, biology, all three. Let's say you talk about this P here. What does this P denote? Now if you look at this region P, it is this region, right, this region. So what is this region? This is an intersection between biology and chemistry. Fine. So I can say that these are those students that have bought a biology book and a chemistry book. But if you look here, this is separated from this circle of physics, because the circle of physics passes from here. Fine. So this is separated. So this region here would be only biology and chemistry and not physics. So now if you look at this data here, it's all given in a form in which you can do this. For example, if you, let's say, let me talk about, just to give you an example how you pick this up. Let's say let me talk about this statement. I'm just explaining to you how to fill this up. Among the students who do not buy physics book, the number of students who buy biology book is twice the number of students who buy chemistry book. So among the students who do not buy physics book means this is the circle of physics, so this complete thing is gone here. So we are not considering this. It says among the students who do not buy physics books, the number of students who buy biology book, so it is this number here, this is biology, so it would be this region plus this region, जो common region है, is twice the number of students who buy chemistry book. Fine. So among the students who do not buy physics book, the number of students who buy biology book is twice the number of students who buy biology book, chemistry book. So you are basically talking about this comparison, this and this. So fill it up accordingly. Take X or whatever you want to take, and then we'll solve it. Not very difficult. Just try doing it. Just make a Venn diagram like this, fine, and fill it up using X and Y. It'll all be solved. It can all be solved. Start doing now. Firdaus, do not worry. It's all a game of confidence. You solve one tough problem, fine, and then you get going. Let's invest some time here. Shivam, the variables are not 7. You make them 7. It can be just done in 2-3 variables. Taranum, leave that problem. We can always do that later. Please post it on the FB group. I'll clear that out. I want you to concentrate on this one now. I just wanted to do 2 types today. One is done. This is the second one. Get this first. We'll sort it out later. Don't worry about that. Okay, just concentrate here. I'm just making a slight change in this question. It will make your calculations easier, but we'll do the same thing for you. Just look at this part, this statement. Just focus here. I'm just trying to make it slightly easier. Among the students who do not buy physics book, the number of students who buy, just put it like this. And simplify the calculations for you, because my idea is to just kind of make you understand how to do it. So it becomes like this. In fact, this is not required among the students now. So the question is, the number of students who buy only biology book is twice the number of students who buy only chemistry book. So that's the data now. Do it accordingly, it becomes easier. Fine. So this statement here, I'll just you do not need even this part now. So it just becomes like this. The number of students who buy only biology book is twice the number of students who buy only chemistry book. This would make it much easier for you to make equations. Do it like this. Dhananjay, do not worry, I'll explain. Just concentrate. Just make the slight change and then work accordingly. You will be able to make equations very easily in this. Arsh, now try making the equations. I have simplified it slightly. You will be able to do it. करके देखो एक बार. अभिषेक ट्राई करो, अभिषेक साहू हो जाएगा. ओनली फिजिक्स. चलो मैं एक बेसिक सा डायग्राम आपको चलो बना के दिखाता हूँ, देन यू बिल्ड फर्दर ऑन दैट. इसमें जो मैंने चेंज किया था, लेट मी जस्ट कीप दैट थिंग मार्क्ड. सो इट्स नॉट देयर. योर स्टेटमेंट इज जस्ट दिस, बाय only biology here, and this is only chemistry. That's your statement. So let me just try and draw a basic one for you. So let's say this is biology, this is physics, and let's draw chemistry here. Chalo, it looks somewhat like circles. Fine. So this is what is given to you. How do you start in a question like this? You can, I'll say start with a simpler statement. For example, I find this one very simple. If you got this one, just look at this part. The total number of books bought by the students who bought books of all the three subjects is 9. इसका मतलब क्या है? Which is the part or which is the area in this which denotes students who bought books of all the three subjects? Can I say it is this area? Has to be this area. So if I am saying that these are the total number of books bought by the students who bought books of all the three subjects is 9, it means that it has to be in this form, 3 into 3, 9. It cannot be anything like that. So basically, if there are 3 students who bought 3 books each, then only the books number can be 9. Na? Just think about this. अभी आंसर देना बंद करो, just look at this. The total number of books bought by the students who bought books of all the three subjects is 9. If there are x students who bought all the three books, fine, so it would be x into 3 and this x into 3 is given as 9. यही दिया हुआ है ना, so basically these are 3 students only ना. So where does this 3 go? In this part? Oh, I erased the circle only. Okay, let me just draw it again. Okay, so this middle part, this has to be 3. Are you getting me? So if there are 3 students who bought all 3 books, physics, chemistry and biology, then 3 into 3 is 9. So it satisfies this statement. The total number of books bought by the students who bought books of all the 3 subjects is 9. This is an important one. If you got this one, then you should now go to this one, this first one. If you look at this, it will reduce your need to make variables here or use variables here. So I did nothing here. I put 3 here in the intersection of the 3. So there are 3 such students who bought all 3 books. 3 into 3, 9. It satisfies my this statement. Look at the first one. Can you fill it up using this one now? Let me just clean the screen meanwhile. Can you use the first statement here? What does this mean? The total number of, I'm putting this data first because I want to minimize the need of variables here. The total number of books bought by the students, this one, the total number of books bought by the students who bought books of both biology and chemistry is 45. Which is the region that shows both biology and chemistry? This is chemistry here, that's biology. Fine. So what is the region that shows both biology and chemistry? Can I say there are 2 regions like that? One is this region, and another is this region. This 3 is the region which bought all 3. Fine. So they bought biology, physics and chemistry, but they would also qualify in this, and it is this region here which is only biology and chemistry but no physics. So what it's saying is that the total number of books bought by this segment, these 2 segments, is 45. But how would it work? Let's say this region here is x. So it should be like this, x into 2. Why 2? Because all these students here who would come in this region have bought 2 books each. Fine, one of biology and one of chemistry. So x into 2 plus 3 into 3 तो हमें पहले ही पता है, and this gives you a something as 45. So in fact this equation is also not needed. You could straight away have said 45 minus 9, 36. 36 divided by 2, 18. So what you know now is that this region that I am talking about, this region is nothing but 18. So you have put a 33 here and 18 here. Now can you do this? Just think about this. Hope you got this step. I used these 2 statements, first this one with 9 and the next one is 45. This was important. If you get this one, you can solve it very quickly. It says the total number of books bought by the students who bought books of both biology and chemistry is 45. So there are 2 such regions. One is this middle region here and one is this region which I am pointing at now. Fine. So these 2 regions are the regions which bought in which the students bought both the books, biology and chemistry. So for this region, can I say if there are x students like this? I would not use x, just to explain to you. X into 2 is the number of books bought by these people, plus you already know that this is 3. So 3 into 3, 45. So 3 into 3, 9, and this all adds up to 45. So it means that x into 2 or 2x becomes 45 minus 9, 36. 36 by 2 is 18. So you can directly say without making equations that this region would be 85. So I am putting it here just to show that to you. Okay, let me just. So basically it gives me something like this. So this is 3 and this is 18. If you look at this, if you look at it in the reverse manner, 18 into 2, 36, plus 3 into 3, 9, 36 plus 9, 45, and it is this 45. Now can you do this? Think about this now. संजय मैंने इक्वेशन लिख कर दिखाया आपको कि 18 कैसे आया, दोबारा से देखो एक बार. I'm writing it again, 18 into 2. Why 18 into 2? Because 18 people did both biology and chemistry. So that's 36. Okay. 3 into 3, 9. You add the 2, you get 45. Now look at this first statement. Is it satisfying this? Yes, that is what is written here. हाँ उस 45 में फिजिक्स की बुक आ जाएगी, बट उसमें कहाँ लिखा हुआ है कि फिजिक्स की बुक नहीं हो सकती. यू रीड ओनली दैट मच विच इज रिटन. इट सेज द टोटल नंबर ऑफ बुक्स बॉट बाय द स्टूडेंट्स हु बॉट बुक्स ऑफ बोथ बायोलॉजी एंड केमिस्ट्री इज 45. But where is it written that physics is not allowed? So there are 2 categories. One category, that 18 number who bought physics, who bought biology and chemistry but not physics, and 3 who bought biology and chemistry and physics, all 3. I hope you got it now. Fine. Now try and solve it. It can be done very quickly now. I've done bulk of the work for you. Let me clean it up a bit. चलिए सॉल्व करके बताइए इसको जल्दी से, अब जल्दी हो जाएगा. Arpit, Venn diagram में you always put the numbers, so it will not be the number of books, it's the number of students who fall into that region. So 3 means there are 3 students who bought physics, chemistry, biology, all 3. So you will not put 9 here. 3 into 3 becomes 9. It's the the basic format of the Venn diagram. अंजलि अब इक्वेशंस बनाइए, अब सॉल्व हो जाएंगी. चलो मैं एक स्टेप और बताता हूँ आपको, करना आप नहीं है, मैं नहीं करके दूंगा इसे. You have to do it on your own. Look at this step, the one which I made easier, this one. The number of students who buy only biology book is twice the number of students who buy only chemistry book. So what is the most convenient thing to assume here? Let's put this x here for only chemistry. If this is only chemistry x, can I say that only biology would be 2x? यही दिया हुआ है ना. So I will not take x and y here. I'll try and minimize the number of variables taken from the very first step. So even if you are fond of making equations, try and minimize the number of equations. Is this okay? If I take this as x only chemistry, this is the region of only chemistry. This region here, this is the region of only biology. So this will become 2x. So we have taken care of this. Now the next one that would be this one, this statement. Read this and put it in terms of x only. Think about this. Don't take any other variable, at least at this stage. Okay, don't take any other variable at this stage. We are back, scared that it's all lost. Fine. And just use this statement now and put something using x in the physics circle. Try doing it. Abhinav, I did not get your question. Why chem but not bio is equal to 16? What is the question? I didn't. But I have not written 16 anywhere. I did not get your question. Okay, let me complete this. You'll get this. My only objective now is, can you put something here in terms of x? Think about this. I already told you the statement. You'll use this statement. You can put something here. It's a very simple one. Can you put something in physics using this one? Of course you can. Look at this one, this statement. Among the students who do not buy biology, matlab we are talking about just this region. This is the region, these 3 in which there is no biology. So we are talking about these 3 regions, this and this. Among the students who do not buy biology book, the number of students who buy chemistry book is 5 more than the number of students who buy physics book. यार तो सिंपल है ना. इट सेज केमिस्ट्री ज़्यादा खरीदी गई एज कंपेयर टू फिजिक्स. सो बेसिकली व्हाट इट्स टेलिंग यू, अगेन लुक एट द स्क्रीन वेरी केयरफुली. दिस रीजन प्लस दिस रीजन, फाइन, दिस प्लस दिस इज 5 मोर देन दिस प्लस दिस. बट ये तो कॉमन है दोनों में, सो आई कैन काइंड ऑफ फॉरगेट इट एट द मोमेंट. व्हाट आई कैन से डायरेक्टली इज दैट इफ दिस इज x, दिस हैज टू बी x minus 5. सोच के देखो, इट्स सेटिस्फाइंग द कंडीशन. आई डोंट नीड टू पुट अ वेरिएबल इन दिस एट दिस स्टेज टू राइट x minus 5 देयर. इफ यू पुट x minus 5 देयर, हो गया ना ज़्यादातर काम, तो फिर ज़्यादा कुछ करने की इसके अंदर जरूरत नहीं है. लेट मी जस्ट क्लीन इट अप अ बिट नाउ. हाउ मेनी वेरिएबल्स आर वी यूजिंग? नॉट मेनी. अब बताओ यहां पर कोई प्रॉब्लम है क्या? कैन आई से दैट इट्स सेटिस्फाइंग दिस लास्ट स्टेटमेंट नाउ? Whatever it is, let me, okay, for the sake of convenience, let me just put this y here because it anyway would not be cannot be calculated. Can I say it's talking about this only, x plus y, this is the region that I am talking about, is 5 more than x minus 5 plus y. That's what it's talking now. This x plus y, it's 5 more than, this is 5 more than this number, x minus y plus 5. So it means that it has to be x minus 5 here. So now you put a y here. Is there anything else that we can fill it up? Yes, we can, but let's do this part here. Let me just erase this and let me just put z here. Fine. So what we have done here is we have just used 3 variables, and even this was not required, but ठीक है, 3 तो we can easily manage. So it's all in the form of x, y and z. So this region is y. So this is the region which is physics chemistry intersection without biology, and this is the region which is z, for which I took z, and this is the intersection for biology and physics without chemistry. Equations बना लेते हैं, will not be very difficult. देखो क्या करते हैं. Which is the only one that's left now? This one. Look at this part now. The number of students who buy only physics book is 1/3 the number of students who buy at least one other book apart from physics book. Only physics book is this x minus 5. So it's saying that this number is 1/3 of which 3 regions? This, this and this. यही लिखा है ना? The number of students who buy only physics book here is x minus 5, is 1/3 the number of students who buy at least one other book apart from physics book. So who are the people who bought one book, at least one book apart from the physics book? So it is this z, this 3 and this y. So these people, these 3 regions, they bought physics book but some other book as well. So what it means is, in terms of equations, it becomes something like this: x minus 5 into 3. So it's 3 times of this x minus 5 only physics region is equal to z plus y plus 3. That's your equation, a simple one here. Did you get this? So this is what is written in this one. Now whatever is there in this Venn diagram, and there is nothing else left. अब इसमें बस आपको इसको 68 को ऐड करके लगाना है. Can you add this? Let's make this equation quickly now. What would we get? Let me just clean this up slightly now. Okay, now we know that there are 68 students in all. So all this region, all these regions, if you add them up, all 7 regions, they would add up to 68. Can you add them up very quickly? Just look at this now. How do you add them up? X, 2x, x minus 5. Can we directly say x, 2x, x minus 5 becomes, because हर एक step अलग नहीं देखेंगे ना, it becomes 4x minus 5. So this is 3 regions, x, 2x, x minus 5. Now what you should do here is that you should directly realize, I told you na, that you could have minimized the number of variables here. Now when I add this z, 3 and y, you should realize here that it's directly written here. I am just telling you a step to minimize your equations and everything. जब आप इन सातों regions को add करना चाहेंगे, when you want to add these 7 regions, I took 4x minus 5 as the only parts here. So this x, this 2x and this x minus 5 add up to 4x minus 5. When I take the second part, this x, this z, this 3 and this y, I should realize that this z, y and 3 is already written here in this form. So what I'll do is I'll directly put this one here. So 4x minus 5 is there, and I'll pick this up here from here. So this becomes x minus 5 into 3. यही होते हैं ना variables reduce करना. So why do I put something else here? ठीक है, so this takes care of these 3 regions, this region, this region and this region. And what is left now? Just this 18. You add this 18, and what does it give you? This number, 68. This becomes 68 here. How much time would you take in solving this for x? इसमें भी टाइम लगेगा क्या? कुछ भी नहीं लगेगा, ये तो बहुत ही सिंपल है. कितना आएगा ये? This becomes 10, I think. Yes, this is 10. So it gives me x as 10. बस हो गया. क्या बचता है? yz आपके पास नहीं है, बट उसमें क्वेश्चंस हैं ही नहीं. यस ओंकार, यू गॉट इट एज 10, रोहित has got it as 10. यस, वंडरफुल. देखो मुश्किल नहीं था. मुश्किल इसमें देखो, there were 2-3 steps. One, you need to get this 3 first quickly, then this 18, and after this 18 you need to minimize the number of variables, and then you can draw a Venn diagram. So what I am doing now is, if you have got this, using this 10 and everything, we don't need these equations, we don't need this, we don't need this. I am just drawing a fresh Venn diagram for you here. I mean the way it looks like, because we have to solve 5 questions based on that. Fine. So let me just clean this up a bit and make a fresh Venn diagram for you. Fine. Whoever still could not get the equations should watch it again. Let me just clean this up a bit for you. So I'm drawing a fresh Venn diagram with actual numbers, and then we'll look at the questions. All right. So this is how it's going to look like. That's chemistry. That's physics, and this is biology. You already know that this was what? This was 3 here. I think this was 18, and you took x here, so I'll just write 10 here, and what else? This was 20, and this one was x minus 5, so this becomes 5 here. Fine, and whatever values we had taken there. So I think I had taken z here and y here. So this is my new Venn diagram. So what you do not know here is the values of z and y, but we do not bother. Let's move forward and look at our questions now. Everything can be answered through this. Let's look at the question. Language tricky नहीं है अक्षय यार, ये इससे ज़्यादा आसान language क्या मिलेगी? If this is a 10 marks question, you'll have to do some work on this, right? This is your first question. How do you answer this? Now you've got everything in front of you. How many students in the class have bought exactly 2 books? I think this is simple. अच्छा इसमें एक और चीज़ रह गई है उस equation से जो हमें निकालनी थी z plus y की value. Fine. So z plus y, I'll just write that once more. It was like this: y plus z plus 3 is equal to 3x minus 5. That was given to us, na? So you can calculate. You cannot calculate y and z separately, but you can calculate the value of y plus z. So it tells us that y plus z. This is what 3. This is I think 12. Yes, this would be 12. So what you know is that this region plus this region is 12. So you know the sum. Fine. So the way this is 18, z plus y is 12, but you do not know the exact value. So this is what's there with you now. So y plus z 12 and everything else you know. What is the question now? How many students are there in the class that have bought exactly 2 books? Exactly 2 books. Which is the region? This region plus this region. Just a minute. Okay, this y plus z plus this 18. So y plus z plus 18, you already know what is it. Y plus z is 12. If you have to add another 18 to it, this becomes 12 plus 18. The answer for this one becomes 30 in this case. I hope you got this. This is in fact an easier one because there was no further condition put in this. So the first one, how many students in the class have bought exactly 2 books? Y plus z 12 and the region of 18, which is 30. Let me go to the second one now. This is the second question. Let me clean the screen. In fact, let me reduce this. Let me remove this as well. You already know what it has given you. This is the second question. Read it, try doing it. Now, what we know is that y plus z is equal to 12. So let's put it here. Now do it. Snehal says, what is the maximum time what should put in this question? Snehal, don't go by what I am doing. You should do it in 5 minutes, but you should know the way to do it. बहुत ज़्यादा लगेगा, you will take 10 minutes. If you know how to do it, you will crack it in 10 minutes. What I am trying to do is in no way an indicator of how much time you should take to do it. I am just explaining everything in detail. Yes, I think this is simple. Some people are saying 40. I don't know how 40. Yeah, so simple ही है ना. This is a simple one. What is the maximum possible number of chemistry books that could have been bought by the students of this class? देखो केमिस्ट्री में देर आर जस्ट 4 regions, फाइन. सो this 10 who bought only chemistry, this 18 who bought chemistry and biology, this 3 who bought all 3, and this y, fine. So देखो 10 plus 18 plus 3, this number 10 plus 18 plus 3, this is the constant, you already know what it is, fine. So the only thing that's variable here is this value of y. Now is there a condition that says that you have to put something in z or something like that? No. So if y plus z is 12, can I say if I have to maximize this number, so 10 plus 18 plus 3 plus y, it is it. So what is the value that I take of y? I'll take 12. So the answer would be what, 43. Did you get this? This is again a simple one. 10 plus 18 plus 3 plus y, and the maximum possible value for y as per this equation given to me, y plus z is equal to 12 is 12. So I take it as 12 here, this region, and the answer becomes 43. I hope you got this. Let me show you the next one now. This was an easy one. Let's see if there is a condition in that one. This is your next one. Answer this now. इसमें क्यों टाइम लगा रहा है यार, ये तो बिल्कुल ही सीधा है ना. इट विल बी 12. Ramita, where is it written? Why have to put why do we need to put 1 in z? क्या कंफ्यूजन है, सोच के बताओ. Where is the condition? Is there a condition? मैंने उसमें कुछ मैसअप तो नहीं किया. I hopefully have not. Have I said somewhere that there has to be at least one student who buys a book of biology and physics but not of chemistry? That's z. That defines z. Fine. So there is no such condition. देखो आपने इसमें भी गलत कर दिया. सो मेनी ऑफ यू सेड 27. इट हैज टू बी 12 यार, कुछ भी नहीं है. व्हाट इज दैट रीजन? आई एम सेइंग हु हैव बॉट बुक्स ऑफ बोथ केमिस्ट्री एंड फिजिक्स बट नॉट ऑफ बायोलॉजी. Chemistry and this is physics, this is chemistry. Which is the region of chemistry and physics? This is the region, fine, this whole region. But if you look at this 3 here, this is that region which or this is those students who bought biology as well. So which is the only region the students who bought physics and chemistry but not biology? That's just y and nothing else. If it's just y, it's simple. y का वैल्यू क्या होगा इसमें? मिनिमम मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल वैल्यू. सो मैक्सिमाइज कर रहे हैं y का वैल्यू, तो हमने पहले भी किया था. सो y का मैक्सिमम वैल्यू इज 12. This was simpler and you messed it up. Fine. So this was a simple one. The answer would be 12. So it's just this region, y region, and nothing else. I'm moving to the next one now. Don't have any preconceived notions. Things like आगे आया है तो मुश्किल होगा, something like that. No. Do this now. कुछ भी नहीं है, ये भी सीधा उठाया हुआ है. एंड दीज आर द क्वेश्चंस दैट आर आस्क्ड इन दिस. आई गेव यू दीज क्वेश्चंस. मैं जनरली नहीं कराता हूँ, जस्ट टू बिल्ड कॉन्फिडेंस इन यू. दीज आर द क्वेश्चंस दैट आर. हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट्स इन द क्लास हैव बॉट ओनली बायोलॉजी बुक? दिस इज द नंबर, ओनली बायोलॉजी. व्हाट इज इट? It's 20. Fine, that's your answer in this. Again, very simple. Last question would be slightly difficult. All of you know this is 20, and just this is the last question for you now. This is the question. Answer this. Answer this correctly. Do not mess it up. थोड़ा सा इसमें कंडीशन दिया हुआ है. I just put a small condition here. That's the condition. Answer this one now. Read it. Answer this. कर लोगे. Guys, answer to the last one and give me the correct answer. थोड़ा सा उसमें condition है, it's a slight condition, not difficult, but give me the correct one. Okay, two answers mainly, three in fact, 41, 38, 43. One of them is correct, I am telling you. Now you tell me which is the correct one. Guys, whoever is saying 41, just think about it again. 41 के लिए आपने z की क्या वैल्यू रखी? Just think about it and check if this condition is being violated. देखो आपने minimize कर दिया. There are two parts. What is the minimum possible number of biology books that could have been bought? Fine. Had just this been the question, I would have put z is equal to 0 and y is equal to 12. Are you getting me? Are you with me on this? Had the question been just this, what is the minimum possible number of biology books that could have been bought? So answer in that case becomes 20 plus 18 plus 3, 41. वो आंसर उस केस में हो जाता, 41 आंसर हो जाता, 41 could have been the answer had I just asked this thing. But the condition is if their number is more than the number of chemistry books bought, what it also tells you is that the number of biology books bought is more than the number of chemistry books bought. In this case, what would happen is if you put y as 12 here, so there will be 12 plus 3, 15 plus 18 plus 10, so it becomes 43. So chemistry books in this case become 43. But you cannot let this happen. So if you cannot let this happen, you put something there. I mean, in the biology department from this one. Are you getting me? So that's the reason why 41 is not the answer. Now, did you get me? Now think again and give me the correct answer. If you put it as 41, the number of biology books would be less than the number of chemistry books. The number of chemistry books becomes 10 plus 18 plus 3 plus y in this case becomes 12 here. So this gives you 43. So it's not possible. So it means that you need something in place of this z. Fine. What do you need? क्या number इसमें लगेगा? Just मेरे को बस ये सोच के बताओ, हो जाएगा फिर. 43. Yes, 43. So the numbers that satisfy would be these numbers. You put z as 2 here and y as 10. Fine. If you put z as 2, you get this value not as 41 but 43. How 43? This is 20 plus 18 plus 3 plus 2, which gives you 43. Fine. And this thing is not 43 now, this becomes 41. So this would be 10 plus 10, 20 plus 3, 23 and 18, 41. So now this condition is satisfied, and so the answer is 43 and not 41. So these are the small things that they do in these questions. But generally I am telling you, the most important part that we did initially was this Venn diagram. If you can draw this properly, and this is I mean, I'll say this was not difficult. This was not difficult. Seriously, this question could have been done, all 5 questions with 10 out of 10 in 10 minutes, not more than that. Fine, you should just know how to attempt this. So this is where we wind up now. Let me just kind of move forward. All right, so this is it. There we are. The answer is 43 for that one. आप में से जो लोग भी बोलते रहते हैं ना, नहीं होगा नहीं होगा नहीं होगा, I use this. Don't underestimate yourself. Look at what is written on the screen. You're smarter than what you think you are. Fine. Work on this. It's doable. I'm not saying waste a lot of time on doing these questions. The idea was just to kind of make you familiar with this. If this comes in the exam, and I'm sure if it comes in the exam, it will be an easier one. I mean, not up to this level. Now you know at least 2 more question types. So my plan is to do 3 or 4 more new question types with you in the next 3-4 days. I did it towards the end because I did not want to do this thing a month back. So the idea is just to expose you to it. So I'll probably do 2 more DI sessions with 2 or 3 sets each. fine. Whoever is not comfortable, my sincere advice, do not come here. I mean, seriously, we're not selling anything here. I do not want you to come and disturb your mental peace. If you think you are like fairly good in DI and you would want to know certain things before appearing or for your exam, I mean on the D day on 4th of June, then please be there. I think I'll do the next one on this is Sunday, Tuesday next one, and then probably either Wednesday and Thursday the next one, and one agenda would be doing one session on sentence connectors. So that's the plan. Samir would be taking a session on current affairs tomorrow, one last session on current affairs, that will be at 7 o'clock, and then probably we'll have a session on each of the rest of the day. So that's the broad agenda. Do watch these two questions again, probably practice some, try doing them on your own, and this should be enough to see you through if something like this comes in the exam. And if you realize that Venn diagrams of set theory is not new to you, nor is this nor is that second thing that I told you, allegation. It's just allegation. Just look at it again. So I'll take your leave now. This is it from my side. Wish you all the very best, and I thank you all for your patience. I'll see you again day after tomorrow with another DI session. Expect it to be like equally difficult or slightly easier than this, I do not know. And Samir will beat you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Wish you a very happy learning phase. Good night.